All right, welcome everyone. This is the 2X project on QUOTEX. What I'm going to be doing with this particular project, these videos are actually probably going to be longer than a typical video is because I want to record the entire process of me observing the market and then entering into a trade ultimately. And documenting this project as I'm doing it from beginning or from the beginning. So we have a starting balance of 190 bucks. And basically we're going to trade until we 2x the balance. And I'm going to show you guys the way that you can basically double your account over time by just being consistent. So what these recordings, what these videos will do is actually record the entire process that I personally use. I'm not going to talk specifically about what it is that I'm doing and use, the terminology that you'll learn if you decide to join this training for QUOTEX, because that's when you'll get all of the specific detailed information regarding what it is that we do through observation and how we actually enter the trades, why we're entering the trades, etc. What this is going to do is just record me doing it. And this will be a good thing because it will allow those of you that are not in training to just see what the process looks like using this platform, switching between charts, looking at different markets. I'll be able to talk about some things, of course, but I'm not going to get into specifics about anything. I'm also just going to be doing stuff until I get into a trade. And then once that trade has been recorded, then that'll be the end of the video. All right, so this video represents trade number 1. And I'm basically going to observe until I see an opportunity, and then I'll take the trades accordingly. Also, I may only enter one time or I may enter multiple times, but they all count towards one trade. So this is a part of the money management that I personally use, and it is aggressive. So the whole idea really is to be consistent and to ultimately be profitable at the end of the day, so to speak. So we want to be net profitable when it's all said and done. And what that can mean is that we may enter multiple times, and that's fine. See, it's all right if you have to enter into the market more than once, as long as you know why you're doing it even before you enter. I think one of the issues that people have is they'll enter and, they may not see the result from a trade, and then they'll enter again because they're upset about losing that trade. That's not what we do at all. We apply our observation, and we basically apply the same protocol each time that we trade. So if for whatever reason an entry may not work, we know exactly why it did not, and then we can take action accordingly and make adjustments basically on the spot, and ultimately end up in a profitable trade. Because if we're getting into the market, if we're entering into a trade and it does not work, we pretty much know why it didn't work, because there's only a few things that it can be at the time based on what we're observing in the market. And this is why training is so important, because training basically sets you up for success. Literally. Training sets you up for success. It teaches you how to apply the right mindset, how to apply patience and discipline, how to wait for the market to present you with your opportunity instead of trying to force your way in. You know, you need to know why you're entering into a trade. Why? I talk about this all the time. So anyway, that's what this new video series will be about. This is the 2X project. And when I'm ready to enter into a trade, I'll just do it. You'll see me do it, and then that'll be that. So I hope that you guys will be able to learn from this, especially those of you who are not in training. For those who are in training, you guys know exactly what I'll be doing, more than likely. If you've been training, you'll understand why I'm entering at the time. And for those of you who are not in training, you'll just see the results. You'll see what it looks like to, to double your account size, to double your account balance over time, taking your time. And I'm not going to do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to just do one trade at a time and release each video accordingly. All right. All right. So anyway, that's the little introduction, I guess, for this particular video series. So the majority of what I'll be doing is observation. You'll just see me moving between the charts and looking at what the markets are doing. And when I'm ready to trade, I will trade. All right. So you guys sit tight. I'll go silent for a minute. I'll come back if I need to talk about something. So this is a true observation video. Like I said, you'll see that there just will be time, that it takes when you observe. You got to wait for what it is that you wait for the market to give you. Until the market does that, you don't do anything. See, this is another thing too about why training is so important, because most people are not conditioned to be that way. People become very impatient when they want to get into a trade. They almost feel like, oh, the market hasn't given me a trade yet. It should give me a trade. It's supposed to give me a trade. And that's not the case at all if you're waiting for the market to present a specific behavior, something that it needs to do first. And I think that that's where most people get caught up. When it comes to trading, they just become impatient, and instead of them waiting for what the market needs to do, they just go ahead and try to force their way into a trade because they feel like the market owes them a trade. And that's the worst thing that you could ever do. So that's why it takes training to condition yourself not to be that way, which is super duper duper important. It's not even optional. You have to be conditioned to not be like that, because otherwise you'll just be jumping into the market and not understanding why you're doing it. Worst thing you could ever do. All right, so y'all just sit tight. You'll sit tight. If a trade comes, it comes. And remember that I'm waiting for the market first. So I'm not just going to be entering into any trade. So when I say, when a trade comes, what I'm saying is when the market presents the right behavior first, then the trade comes. If the behavior is not there first, you won't see me doing anything other than watching. All right, so yes, sit tight. I'm not trying to click in. I'm actually just moving the mouse around, and it's just going over these buttons. So this is one thing too about this platform. You got to be careful when you're moving the mouse around. Like if you step away and you come back, be careful when you're moving this mouse around because it hovers over these buttons. You'll see the screen light up, and if you're not careful, you'll click in if you click the mouse. So just be careful. All right, so I don't know how long it's been so far. It looks like 35 minutes. As I mentioned at the beginning of these are going to be longer, maybe long videos. Might be long videos. The market don't just give you what you necessarily are waiting for right away. Even though I'm looking at multiple markets, it's, I wait. I don't ever rush this process. I observe and I wait. And I only will enter once the opportunity has been presented. So if the opportunity is not there, I continue to wait. Just don't do nothing. Just don't do anything. But let's see if so this is actually an opportunity here. So I'm going to enter this, and hopefully this will do it. And we'll be able to wrap this up because I've been on here for what, 30-some minutes already. All right, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so that first entry didn't work. And here's the next entry. All right. We good that time. So as you can see, I entered twice, two totally separate entries and two totally separate markets. And again, my observation will lead to me ultimately entering into a trade. If for whatever reason the first entry that I enter into does not work, I'm prepared to enter again. And ultimately, I'm prepared to enter multiple times. So my money management is very aggressive. And the majority of the time, I don't have to enter more than once, but there are just going to be times where the first entry doesn't work and you'll have to enter again. And you have to understand why the first entry did not work. Just like here on this one. This one didn't work. As soon as I entered into the trade, it went up and I'm selling. It didn't work. It is what it is. When you're looking at what the market's doing and you're in observation, like I clearly know, why this did not work. And it's okay. It's all right. and I was prepared to enter again. It just so happened that when I came in on this market, that this market was set up for what it is that I wanted to see, and I clicked right in for the second entry. So, all right. So, this video series will be very educational. I'll be kind of sharing a lot through these observations. So even though these videos are long, I suggest that you watch them all the way through, especially if you're not in training. A lot of you who are in training, you know, you guys would probably end up watching it too. And I mean, it would be smart. It would be the smart thing to do, to watch it all the way through, because you'll learn about the way that I'm actually observing the market and the way that I wait. You know, like you'll see me potentially preparing to enter into a trade and then I won't, you know, stuff like that. I did do that once or twice. Again, also remember what I said about the mouse and hovering over the buttons. So you have to be careful not to, you know, put your mouse over the buttons if you step away and you come back, because you could very easily click into a trade that you didn't mean to click into because you weren't paying attention. All right. So that's definitely something that you want to be aware of on this platform. All right. All right. So this is trade number 1 for the 2X project. And that's it. That wraps it up. So this video ended up being like 42 minutes. And it's cool. It's cool. Very educational. You guys will benefit from this. All right. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all the next one. Y'all know what it is. Love, peace, and soul. Dom the Monko. Dom the Monko.